guys are doing well. We are sporting a brand new set of tire chains that have been sitting at the dealer for a month now. I've been hearing talk of having these things since Goldsmith Road, and now I've got them, and this thing is looking for mountains to climb. Absolute billy goat. Night and day difference. Not to mention the rubber in the rear is actually was new within the past four months or so, and they're looking kind of rough. So tire chains definitely save these tires. The front tires actually look better than the rear, and the front tires have been on this thing for a lot longer. But nonetheless, I figure I'd give you guys some updates on what has been going on out here. Last week was another breakdown week. We had box truck went down early last week. It was planned on being put out of service for a little bit to get some wiring harnesses fixed and replaced. But it sounds like the head gasket went. A couple days before it was supposed to go out. So they got that, getting that procedure done at the moment. Then at Goldsmith Road, I was helping Ben before we got to that last landing we were on. Grease up and just give a once over to the loader and the delimiter. The rollers were out of adjustment pretty bad, so we were going to tighten them up, realize that they were actually moving, so they had gone by. So we had ordered some new ones up, and when we got to this job, the new ones came in. We went to actually throw them in. Got them all snugged up, stuck a tree in it, and the thing wobbled back and forth so bad. So we were kind of like, well, that only means one other thing, you know. The delimiter's on a bearing that's mounted to the actual frame of the trailer. And that bearing's mounted to the bottom of the delimiter. Like two big rings. You know, it's probably 24 inches around. It's just like I imagine it's just like the inner pivot to an excavator type of bearing. So we stuck a tree in it, put a chain around it, banded that down, and we started checking bolts to find that most, if not all of them, were loose, and that 4 or 5 were actually snapped clean. So the remainder of that Tuesday, we spent pulling the top of the delimiter off, and then the yoke at the bottom, getting all them bolts out of there. And then we had to drill and drill out the bolts, try to get an easy out in. That worked for 2 of them, and the last couple were absolute pains in the butts. I think we spent probably the better part of 3 hours trying to get them out. With a torch, we get it all cherry red, and then we throw snow on it. Get it to break loose. finally able to remove them. In the process of that work being done, of course, we were still logging. So I think it was Wednesday, Ed, y'all remember I was talking about Ed bringing me out here for the first time there while we were working DOT. He jumped out of the skidder. He's driving truck for us now, but since Bucky's truck is down, Ed's been skidding with me, and we'll get into why Ed's skidding with me in another video. So yeah, Wednesday Ed was he skid a hitch out, get out, and start limbing with a saw. That ended up going. It went pretty decent. It wasn't nearly as productive as having a delimber, but we didn't have a delimber at that time, so we did that, which made it work. Thursday came, and the bolts that were overnighted never came in. So Thursday I spent my day pretty near all day trimming trees with a saw. Ben would bring them out to me. I'd limb them up, and Ed would skid. Finally on Friday around 1 o'clock, the bolts came in. So we replaced the ones in the chassis, the frame, and then we put on the yoke, basically, which is the bottom of the delimber. Got all freaking 30 of them on. So I don't know, there's so many of them. But we ended up, instead of using the Loctite this time, we used silicone. Because of the abuse the thing takes, hopefully the silicone will keep the bolts where they're at, but give it enough flexibility that if you do get a big jar or something like that, it won't break the silicone like it does the Loctite. We ended up getting that done before 5, which was record time versus taking the thing apart. And luckily, with Buck's truck being down, we had it out here because the parts hadn't come in. So we were able to remove it with Buck's truck, and then use Buck's truck to actually put the delimber back on top of the yoke. The unit itself, so I'm just calling it a yoke. Basically, it has 2 bushings on either side and 2 bolts, and the delimber sits on top of it. So it looks just like a yoke. Beautiful now. Gotta give it a good once over. We didn't have a torque wrench, so went until it felt tight. A little bit tighter with a 6-inch bar or 6-foot bar we were using. Either way, it's on, it's working good. It's a lot quieter. One less thing to worry about. Either way, guys, before I get ranting again, we're going to end it there. God bless y'all. Keep your head screwed on straight. We'll talk to you soon.